In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the 2K rule and the class width and how to actually use Excel to do your frequency distribution and your histogram. So for this particular problem, it tells us that we have 36 college students and we're trying to figure out first of all how many classes and what the class width needs to be. So I'm going to turn to a page, and so we need 2 to the what power to be greater than or equal to 36. Well, if you do 2 to the 5th, that would not be big enough because 32 is not large enough. So we'll do 2 to the 6th, and we know that 2 to the 6th is 64, which is greater than or equal to 36. So our class, the number of classes we're going to have, K, is 6. So 6 classes. Now we need to determine our class width. So you do your maximum minus your minimum divided by K. So our maximum in this particular problem, if you look at your data, let me find it real quick. So if you open your table here, you would find your maximum and minimum values. I actually, for time purposes, I'm going to tell you what that is. And our maximum value is 59.56 and our minimum value is 164. And remember, we have 6 classes. So if you do that in your calculator, you're going to get 965. But we want to round this to the to a useful whole number, okay? So a useful whole number in this situation would be 1,000 would be easy to work with. We don't want to round down to 900, and 970 is not really a good width. It's not really as readable as 1,000. So we're going to have our class width is going to be 1,000. Now that we know that, let's go back to our problem. And how did I get these numbers without having to sit here and count? One option is StatCrunch. Another option is Excel. And Excel is what I'm going to show you in this particular video. Remember, you should be able to get Microsoft 365 with your college. You should be able to download that for free. So if you go into Excel, what you're going to do is, let me minimize this. This is where I worked it before. Let me just do this. Let me click here and open in Excel. And that way, if you open in Excel, it will pull up all of your numbers. It will put them in the table for you. Okay? Now, when you do this in Excel, you have to put your bins in, and you have to put the upper limit of the bins. That's just an Excel thing, and this is in your e-text. It tells you how to do this. So we're going to do 1,000 to 6,000. That would be the maximum value in each class. They use bins instead of the word class. Okay, so I just looked in the e-text to show me how to do this, just to make sure. So what you want to do is, I'm going to highlight where I want this to go, and I want it to go right beside, if it's a frequency distribution, I want it to go right beside it so I can see. So you go up here after you highlight it, right beside it, and you do frequency, and this is in the e-text, and then do a parenthesis, and you want to highlight all your numbers, your data points, and then you want to, after you have them highlighted, put your comma and then scroll up and highlight your bins. And then it's going to put that information into the cells I originally had highlighted. Close your parenthesis and press enter. And now you can see, and I highlighted too many, by the way, so let me fix this if I can. This should be D7. Okay, now it's right. I had highlighted too many. That's why I had a 0 there, which really didn't matter. So there's your frequencies. It counted all those numbers for you. Excel is pretty cool in the fact that it would do that. So I'm going to put frequency here just so I know that that's the frequency. So once you have that, you can just go in and put those numbers in. And then to do the relative frequency, you could just use your calculator. We know there's 36 data points. If you wanted just to calculate it into Excel, you could do 11 divided by 36. And this is basically using Excel as a calculator, especially if you put the equal sign in the front. And we want to round it to 3 decimal places, so because to the thousandths. So there you go. And then you would do the same thing for all of these, and I'm going to just do that real quick. Okay, so there is your relative frequencies here. And I just like Excel because it will, you can put everything in one spot, in one worksheet. And then this is more realistically, if you were looking at numbers, a lot of businesses use Excel. And then for the cumulative, so there's your relative frequencies. That would be the next part to this problem. All you would have to do, oh sorry, I went too far. All you would have to do is enter those numbers. And let's just make sure. Yeah, and your total should equal 1. So when you add these up, they should equal 1. Another cool thing about Excel is it'll round it for you as to how many decimal places. If you put it in your calculator, it'll round it. So that's a neat thing too. All right, for your cumulative, all it is you're getting a running total. So you're going to total this number, and really I didn't even have to put sum. Let's just do this, the sum of these two numbers, and you're keeping a running total. And there's multiple ways to do this. If you were using a calculator, you would just keep adding to it. So, and when you get down to here, it should be 1. So I'm going to pause the video and get that in here real quick. Just remember, cumulative means it accumulates. So it's everything that is accumulated up to that point. And I wanted to show you that. And then, whoops, we didn't want to do that. The sum of everything up to that point. That's what cumulative means. Now, when I do my cumulative, the last number should always be 1, and it is. So those are your cumulative. Another important thing to remember when you're working on homework is to be sure to read what it wants you to round to. And then there's your cumulative. See, I've already entered those. And then the histogram. So I'm going to show you how to do the histogram in Excel too. So what you want to do is, if you don't have, when you click on data, if you don't have data analysis, go up to the, let me move this window up so you can see this. If you don't have the data analysis in the right corner over here, you need to click search, and you need to search for data analysis, and or click on add-ins. And when you click on add-ins, click on the analysis tool pack and select it and hit OK. And then when you go to data, you should see the data analysis. And we're going to do the histogram. And our input range, I need to make my window bigger so you can see. Okay, there. I didn't make it bigger, but it will work. So you want to, your input range is going to be all your data. And then your bin range is, highlight your bin numbers. And then, and this is all in your e-text. Let's do a new worksheet ply, and a new worksheet ply. The output range, don't worry about that. Click on new worksheet ply and chart output and click OK. And there is your histogram. So here are your you can click on here and you can see that there are 11 here, 9 here. These two are the same and these two are the same. And here you can see this is 11, this is 9, these two are the same, and these two are the same. And if you're not sure, you can zoom in on it to see the numbers a little bit better. And that is how, this is a long problem because it covers a lot of information, but this is good practice, and I do recommend you to try to work one just on paper to make sure you understand. And once you understand it, then there's no sense in you trying to sit here and count every single class and how and make the frequency distribution by counting. But so just let me know if you have any questions. I'm always available to help, and I hope that this video helped you.